All right, so previously we checked out the Middle East, Israel, Ukraine, those areas. So let's take a look at something else today. Once again, back on Google Earth, anyone can access Google Earth. So, interesting thing I'll be looking at today. Let's take a look and see what we can see in regards to battleships or potential fleets. And easiest one of all the world's navies to spot is definitely going to be the American Navy because they are um, huge. Quite frankly, no one has that many ships, as far as I know, all that many people at sea. To be honest, I did mark a few. I spent 20 minutes the other day, or half an hour, maybe perhaps. You'll see all those two blue dots. There is some specifically military vessels close to most of them. Some of them are actually, in fact, museum pieces, literally. But let's take a look. So first, I think we'll visit Honolulu, Hawaii. Um, Obviously, one of the most famous battles or sea battles took place here, Pearl Harbor, which was 1941, I think 7 December around there, which obviously got the USA involved in World War II. There's a lot of speculation around this. Some people say that it was known that the attack was coming, but no one took any action to avoid this tragedy. I think about 2,900 people, or close to 3,000 people, lost their lives on that day. I think 7th of December 1941. But let's take a look and see what we can see in regards to um, fleets or ships or potential battleships in the region. Um, let's first go to the marker I did mark earlier. We'll visit some history here. All right, so Arizona Memorial. So this is one of the battleships that was sunk during the Pearl Harbor attack when Japan attacked America. Um, some of these sailors were trapped under water. I think a day or two before they died, unfortunately. So very sad, but this is a memorial. This is one of the battleships. There you can see some of the guns, I suspect. I'm not sure. Still quite intact, considering this is what, 70 to 80 years back. So this is where many of them were sunk. Here, I suspect you'll see another museum piece. Yeah, most definitely. This is not a modern ship. This is a classic battleship by the looks of it. I'm no expert, but it seems to be. There you can see the gun turrets. A lot of these ships are obsolete, so they're all basically just museum pieces. I suspect you can still probably do some damage if you plan to use them, though. Alright, so let's see if we can find something a bit more modern. This is one, or used to be one of the very important bases for the United States. Another museum piece here, a submarine. Let's see, let's just wait until it clears up the picture a bit. Yeah, you can see this is a historic piece, so not a new piece of technology. Looks like a submarine. I did on occasion see a few aircraft carriers around here as well. Let's zoom out a bit and see if we can find anything. Yeah, definitely there's a few ships. Let's give it a few seconds to refresh. Unfortunately, no expert in terms of Navy ships. Maybe there's some destroyers here, guided missile ships. But you can see there's a few warships here. Let's see if we can actually do this in 3D. Not sure how up to date these pictures are, but see, it's not that difficult to find a fleet if they import quite a few ships that you can see over here. I suspect I did see a submarine as well. Let's take a look. Yeah, there we go. There's one submarine as well. One of the more important ports to the USA, or navy yards to the USA, because it's halfway through the Pacific. You can see a few more submarines. Yeah, but not that difficult to find a Navy fleet if it's docked at ports. These they don't tend to blow out. It's no secret where they are. Anyone can look it up. So it's not a national secret or anything like that. Let's zoom out a bit. Once we go to mainland USA, let's go back again. We'll find some more modern ships, even potentially some aircraft carriers and submarines. Here on the western seaboard of the United States, close to Seattle, there's quite a few ships. I see they do stock quite a few submarines in this area. Let's take a look and see what we can find over here. So I assume these fleets are to protect the United States from any threat from the east, potentially. Let's see what we've got over here. I can really see there's an aircraft carrier there. You can see the shape, very distinctive. You can't miss that shape. Let's start from this side. I suspect these are, let's see, another museum piece. So this is a battleship, a museum. USS Turner Joy. All right. So this is a museum piece. Just waiting for it to update a bit. Unfortunately, my internet connection is not that great today for some reason. Take some time to process. Okay, let's go back to that one a bit later. Let's see if we can find that aircraft carrier. Right, so there you can see an aircraft carrier parked in dock. I think there's even an aircraft on the flight deck. Yeah, definitely. Control tower over there. And the thing with these aircraft carriers, I don't know how many people realize it, but many of these ships have literally more aircraft on board than most countries in terms of Air Force size. So I'm speaking under correction, but I think the United States might have somewhere between 10 and 13 of these aircraft carriers, potentially more. So they do pack quite a punch, and that's a huge advantage logistically and materially, militarily. So this is a huge plus to a military to have technology like this. You'll see some other ships as well, and when these aircraft carriers go out to sea, they obviously have a supporting fleet. Most likely ships like these. I'm not sure what this is. These might be. See, there's always a few ships accompanying the aircraft carriers. Unfortunately, I'm no expert on the Pacific ships, but it's quite easy to spot the aircraft carrier, and the submarines are very distinctive as well. So there's a few ships over there. I did highlight another one as well, close to Seattle. Let's see. I suspect this is the one with the submarines. Now, if you've got time and you're aboard, it's always quite interesting to check out these types of things. You'll at times you'll find some interesting stuff on Google Earth. You can actually even spot yourself on Google Earth. I did spot something here the other day that was of interest, and I think it was this. I could not quite make out what this is. Almost looks like the shape of an aircraft carrier, but it's like it's blurred out. So I'm not sure if they sometimes remove things from view on Google Earth. It's quite possible, I suppose. So that could be an aircraft carrier, although I'm not too sure. Might just be something totally different. Might even be a freighter. But yeah, close to Seattle, there's quite a few submarines as well. See, that's almost a similar shape, but I suspect this is like a cargo ship of some kind, or barge. Let's see what we've got over here. Some more military ships over here. So there's quite a few military ships, Navy ships. The US does have quite a few of them. Many of them relics from the Cold War, unfortunately. Some have been upgraded um, to fit in with a more modern landscape of war. Um, Obviously, the nuclear submarines in the US makes up a huge part of their navy. Not somewhere I would prefer to be on a submarine. I would get claustrophobic. I don't know about you. So there's quite a few military bases or close to Seattle around there. I did find one the other day with about 7 submarines. And the reason I'm looking at the US Navy specifically, their Navy is the easiest to spot because they've got the most ships. So it's pretty obvious that you're not going to struggle to find ships if you know where to look. If you know where the major cities are, you know more or less close to some of them, there is going to be um, a military base or navy base of operations to protect that city. Well, usually that's the way it works, in my opinion. But let's just take another look here. I'm actually trying to find the submarines that I spotted the other day. Aircraft carrier we did take a look at, so I'm not going to go back to that. Probably a civilian shipyard, this, I suspect. Looks like normal civilian ships. Right, so let's go down from here. From Seattle, we'll go past San Francisco, down to Los Angeles, even further south from there. I think San Diego. Let's see. There's quite a sizable Navy installation close to San Diego. Most of this area, I suspect, is um, allocated for Navy ships, and you'll see 2 aircraft carriers, in fact. 3, if you look at that one there. So there's 3 aircraft carriers here already. Let's see if there's any planes on deck. Unfortunately, it does take quite a while to refresh. Don't see any planes on these, but yeah, 2 aircraft carriers here. Might be decommissioned aircraft carriers. You're more than welcome to Google it and find out. Some of them will have a name on there. These two, no, unfortunately not. But like I said, it's up to, I'm speaking under correction, but there could be as many as 6,000 people on board, even more, when they are fully stocked, if I can put it like that. So there's 2 aircraft carriers again, a third one over here, and this one is a museum. Yeah, this is definitely a museum, otherwise there would not be so many planes on board. So this is literally a museum piece. Midway Museum. So this is most likely from Second World War periods up towards the Cold War or even Vietnam. So this is quite a large military or Navy basis of operations here in San Diego. 3 aircraft carriers here. One is a museum piece, obviously, like you can see over there. Let's take a look and see if there's any other military ships here. Seems like there might well be. Yeah, definitely. There you can see some more. Another aircraft carrier there. And there's also submarines that's based at this. There's some more warships. So you see why I'm looking specifically at the American Navy. They've got the most ships. All of these are warships. Yeah, as well. Some more over here. And this is just the ships that you are able to see on Google. Most of their warships, I suspect, would be out of port to make it a bit more difficult. Obviously, it makes more sense. Not going to keep all your ships in port. Another aircraft carrier here. So San Diego's got a huge fleet. Seattle, I've seen quite a few submarines there. So it looks like a lot of these submarines are housed in the Seattle area for the Pacific Ocean, more than likely. Submarines, I did see a few here as well, can't find them now. once the submarines are on port, obviously it's quite easy to spot them. Although you'll probably be able to see them once or if they're underwater, if they're not too deep. So from the eastern seaport, let's go to the Atlantic Ocean. There's quite a few here as well. There's actually a few aircraft carriers under construction here. And like I said, it's not national secrets. You can see these bases on Google. Let's see what we marked over here. You can actually see Starbase here as well. But for now, I don't think we're going to take a look at Starbase, not for purposes of this video. Let's see what we marked over here. Definitely some ships here. More than likely a museum piece as well. So if you want to look at stuff like this, it's quite easy to look on Google Earth. If you know there's a big city around, there's sure to be some sort of a military installation nearby, with some military ships or navy ships. Looks like this might be an old warship, battleship, some oil rigs next to it. Actually, Elon Musk actually bought 2 oil rigs at one stage for SpaceX to retrofit them as launch platforms for Starship, but they did sell them again, so that didn't go ahead. So definitely an old warship there. Let's go a bit more to the north. Let's see, what do we have here? Definitely a ship there. Some Navy vessels here. Another blurred picture. I'm not sure what the heck this is. It seems like it's a bit of a ghost of a ship with some tugboats next to it. So you'll never know what was there, but there is an aircraft carrier here as well. And some more Navy ships. So it's quite easy to see how many ships are part of the US Navy in terms of what's at port. So many warships in this specific base. Eastern Seaport. Let's zoom out a bit. I'd like to show you the aircraft carriers I spotted the other day. I think there's about 2 of them under construction. It might be at the under construction, but for some reason the all the decommissioned battleships seem to, or aircraft carriers seem to look a lot like the new ones. For some reason, once when they're constructed, it looks like rusty for some reason. I've picked that up sometimes. Suppose this is not an old battleship. Looks like it. There's gun turrets. Yeah, this is definitely an old battleship. Quite a few in that area. Let's go to here and see what we can find over here. More aircraft carriers. So there is literally tons of Navy ships around the US coast. Definitely 2 aircraft carriers actually free. Not sure if this is one they're working on or this is one that's a new one that they're busy constructing. Quite possible. Like I said, some of them seem like it's rusty when they're still working on it, and some of them really are rusty because they are being decommissioned. So I'm not sure which would be the case in this situation. Another one over there. A few more ships over here. It's just a ton of ships, Navy ships. And these I am a bit confused. It seems like these are still under construction. I might be incorrect. But it does seem to be an aircraft carrier of some type. I'm not sure. Like I said, sometimes they seem rusty when they construct them. I don't know why. Maybe it's before the steel or materials are treated. Yeah, and just keep in mind, one of these ships are basically carrying enough planes um, to retrofit or fit the entire nations. A nation with planes, if I can put it like that. So there's quite a bit of naval. There's quite a few ships around the US coast. I'm not sure what I marked over here. Let's find out. Looks like another seaport of some kind. There's another aircraft carrier, so there's more aircraft carriers over here. Not a large military installation or base. Unfortunately, internet connection is lagging behind today. Seems to be military ships these as well. Many of the ships that I'll show you here is probably decommissioned or old stock. Just frustrating when the internet connection is slow like this. Some days it happens, unfortunately. Definitely an aircraft carrier as well, rusty. Most likely an old one, not sure. Extremely rusty, so I don't know. This might be a decommissioned one. But still a lot of ships that could be used if needs be. So, and like I said, the reason I'm looking at the US fleet specifically, or Navy, is that they are the largest Navy and it's easier to spot their ships. There's a few Russian ships we'll look at as well in the Black Sea. I did manage to find that one as well. Yeah, and here we go. Here's a couple of submarines. Like I said previously, when they docked, you can quite easily spot them. There's submarines. So at least 5, 6, 7. A few more down here. Should be most likely nuclear submarines, and many of these submarines will carry nuclear warheads. Let's hope we never see them being used. So there is definitely quite a large fleet of submarines over here. Old warship. Let's see. Yeah, definitely an old warship. USS Massachusetts, 1940s battleship. So they don't make them they don't make them like this anymore. It looks quite imposing with all the guns. Lately they just have like small missile turrets. I don't think you get artillery pieces on Navy ships that much anymore. Seems to be a submarine right next to it. Looks like one. Yeah. Well, this is the classic battleships. So yeah, let's zoom out again. See if there's anything else there. Now, I think we're done with the US. Let's go over to. Just going to orientate myself again here because I screwed up the Earth. Oh goodness. Right, so let's find the Black Sea. I was looking at the Black Sea previously. So let's see. There is a small fleet here as well. Let's take a look. I think I marked 2 spaces here. Definitely 1 or 2 submarines here. And these should be Russian vessels. A few warships here, not that many, not even close to the amount the Americans are using. Seems to be a warship. Yeah, maybe some older ones over here. And there was something here as well. I think this is most likely another museum piece as well. Yes, 1950s. Large battleship, really large battleship. Look at all those gun turrets. There's the back, the front. It's a very large battleship. Yeah, so quite interesting to look at all that. Um, you can visit all the historical sites, even still see some of the wreckage from past battles. And then there's also this little thing close to the edge of Vietnam somewhere. I did save it. Don't know if I'll be able to find it. Ah, yeah, there we go. It's Vietnam. There used to be a lot of conflict here at one stage, 70s. Um, all the Vietnam War, obviously, North South, Cold War, proxy. But just for interest's sake, let's take a look here on the coast of one of the Vietnam cities. So the closer we get, you'll see a few dots appear here in the ocean, and you'll realize that it's actual little fishing boats and so on. It's thousands of people literally living on the sea. And just look at it. They bunch their boats together and they put platforms in between, and that's where they stay and live and raise their kids. Imagine that. And there is literally many um, little sea towns like this on the coast in the east, especially next to Vietnam, like you can see here. I have no idea what this is. Maybe one of you guys can tell me. I don't know if they're freaking farming something there, but obviously they're staying on these little fishing boats, trawlers and stuff. But you'll see them on various parts of the coastline, but it's quite interesting. But alright, enjoy your day.